right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the world's most exciting classroom. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I'll be your host for today. Happy Earth Day to everybody. We are out here on, actually, we're getting a double feed here, which is not a great way to start. Let me see if I can figure out why we're getting double. Okay, that should kill the double sound. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, we are out here. It is Earth Day, so happy Earth Day, everybody. Um, Still getting the repeat sound. Oh, I know why. There we go. Okay. Sorry, everybody. We have so much gear set up here right now. We have long lens cameras, we have switchers, we have phones, we have battery packs, we have Starlink units, we've got portable microphones. So one extra microphone was just turned on, which is why we were getting that double feedback. But what we're going to do today to celebrate Earth Day in the field with Marine Dynamics, Sharks, and Whales tour, we are going to do some estuary monitoring. So in a minute, I'm going to give you the beautiful view here in this river estuary where we're hanging out. We're going to be doing some monitoring, looking at the quality of the water, and then we're going to be doing a little bit of bird watching. We're going to see what kind of birds we can find, and that's why I have the long lens camera set up. So I'm sitting here close to an overpass. I've got the water running in front of me. We've got Amy here next to me. Hey, Amy, how are you?
It's good, thank you.
Good. You may remember Amy from our shark Easter egg hunt yesterday. We found a lot of egg cases. Did you get a total count yesterday?
Yeah, we had 52.
52. 52, not too shabby. Very cool. And so we're gonna make you get out in the cold water. A couple of your colleagues, Sandra and Tomas, are out there already standing in the water. And we're gonna play around with some camera view. So I do want to apologize in advance. There might be little pauses as we switch in between different cameras and different microphone systems, but I'll try and give you a bit of a view here at our makeshift TV studio in just a second. But it's it's quite a little collection that we have here. So I'm going to do a little switch here, and I'm going to switch to my long lens. So you're going to see that starting right now. So you should see that camera view there. And I'm going to switch the audio because I just sent Amy out into the
Yes. Yeah, of course. So currently we're in our estuary. So this is where we do our monitoring every single week. So with an estuary environment, it is a mixture of fresh water and salt. So it does create a brackish environment. So we sites that we utilize every single week, and this data collection does go towards Cape Nature, one of our partners when it does come towards conservation. So we'll be looking at the different water properties. So specifically, we'll look at temperature. Of course, for today, we definitely see how cold it is, and then we're going to have a little look as well at dissolved oxygen. That is just one of the indicators of the health of the estuary. And then from that point, we'll look at salinity, so how much salt's in the water, and from as well. So what we're going to utilize is our YSI. So this is a multi-parameter machine. It does have a little bit of a probe on the end, and there are different receivers within this. So it's able to give us a nice little digitalized display of all those different readings that we just went through now. And in order to make sure we actually do have enough water, we always do take a depth measurement as well. So we're currently standing in 65 centimeters of water, and we do have our YSI on as well. So when it does come to this for the YSI, there are a few different parameters that take a little while to settle as well. So we will have a look and see what it's saying. But the water is currently 17 degrees. Was told it feels like 5 earlier. So All right, but when it does come towards our salinity, so we are standing a little bit closer towards the mouth of the estuary, so a little bit over towards that section over there is where we have our water from the ocean feeding in, and then upstream, that is our fresh water. So because we are a little bit closer to our ocean ecosystem, it does tend to mean we'll have salt. So for our salinity, it is 38.3. And typically around our oceanic environment, it does tend to be around 40 and up from that point. And then if we have a look at our dissolved oxygen, so we do have two different measurements. So one is in milligrams per liter and the other is at a percentage. So when it comes to the YSI, it does assume for your ocean level that your dissolved oxygen will be 100%. So if it does go underneath this, it's something removing that oxygen out. And if it's above 100, there tends to be something that is adding to your oxygen supply as well. So that can just be based on rainfall or just degradation that are happening within our estuary. But yeah, milligrams per liter is 0.7, and as a percentage, that is 0.7%. So we are looking at pretty low oxygen from this point. So as we do make our way across the sites, as we do this every single week, it does supply us with an outline of what we do know about our conditions. So we look at these parameters, they are identified as our parameters of concern. So if it does dip below a certain percentage, a certain level over a longer period of time, this does allow us to take action when it comes to the conservation as well. So doing it over a longer term, it's not with a hypothesis in mind, it's just so we do recognize the parameters. So when there is something different, we can essentially take matters into our own hands from that point. And then, yeah, for conductance, that is 57309.
Sorry, say again.
57309. There we go. And conductance and salinity, they do go hand in hand. So, of course, with your salinity, if it's higher, there are more salt particles within the water. So that does mean there's more charge that can pass through. So with your salinity and your conductance, there is a positive relationship from that point as well. But yeah, based on the different depths that we do have, 40 centimeters is the minimum required for a water measurement. And then if it goes over 70, we'll do surface temperature and bottom temperature, and then all the other parameters that are involved as well. But we're sitting at 65 today, so we'll just take that one measurement. So yeah, that is our simple and quick water measurements. Perfect. There we go. We're going to head back towards you, Joe, and then go from there. Ooh. Of course. We're gonna get birdie. What is it?
And if you want to come over next to me, we've got our first customers here. Let me try and zoom in a little closer. First of all, tell us who we're looking at here.
So we are looking at two hot lobskulls. We often find them here at the estuary. They're also very interesting as they're endemic here to the Benguela upwelling.
Okay. And so when you come down to the survey, what are you looking at? The number you see? Are you looking at the condition of the birds? What kind of information are you collecting?
So we do the bird monitoring and bird count every time we do the water temperature and oxygen levels, like what Amy just explained. So we're looking mostly at the number, what birds we see at what area of the estuary. Obviously, closer to the shoreline, you find more saline water, whereas further up, you find more fresh water, and we just see how the different bird species are distributed along this wetland.
Okay.
So it is very important for us to also keep track, and we have a rather large data set as we come here on a weekly basis. So it gives us a good indication how do the bird species change over seasons, but also is there any changes happening over the years, because birds are very important and key bioindicators for wetlands and their health.
And you were saying that this area is a little quieter now because a lot of the migratory species have left?
Yes, that's right. So during our South African summer months, we see a lot of shorebirds here along the estuary. They come all the way from the northern hemisphere, and they overwinter here, feed, and then about a month ago most of them have started their migration back up north again. So we see a lot less diversity of species here during winter time, but we still have a lot of birds around, such as those hard lobscows, and sometimes we see oyster catchers, little egrets, cormorants.
I'm just going to do a little scan around and let's see if we can spot anything else. We have our oh, there's someone way. Is that an oyster catcher way? Oh, it just went around the little corner. Maybe we'll come back out. I think it was an oyster catcher.
It is fairly quiet because it is a bit windy now, but
got a couple more gulls way on the other side. And there's the water there.
If you have a look across on the other side, there's a sacred ibis, African sacred ibis, just in front of the trees there. A little bit further to your left, you see that big bushy tree, just underneath a fairly large bird.
Is it in the tree or on the ground?
On the ground. It's now heading, I don't know if you can see, it's now kind of going under the tree.
Okay, so it's way back.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I got it now.
Okay.
So African sacred ibis?
Yes.
Yeah, there he is. Or she. And then I assume you're doing this year on year. You're looking for trends in the, I guess, population size.
Yeah, to kind of see what are the changes. Are there any changes? So we come out here every week, and then we're also doing a quarterly count that feeds into the coordinated waterbird count. And those trends, if there are any, obviously can inform policy and conservation efforts.
Now this gull in the sky I've got kind of locked in. It's kind of brown speckled. Is that a young one or is that a different species?
That is a different species. So that is a juvenile kelp gull.
Okay. See if I can pick someone else out of the sky here. They're fast moving. It's a little bit tricky. So how regularly would you come out to monitor the estuary?
So once a week. So we try to come here over high tide. And then, as I said, we do the water testing and then looking at the bird species around. So we have different sites along the estuary. One is further downstream close to the coastline, and then one where we are at the moment, and another 2 sites are further up.
And then why multiple sites? How does it help you to have multiple sites to check?
Because the water changes. Obviously, the site closer to the ocean will have a higher salt content and will have different bird species than going further upstream where you have more fresh water. So along the coastline, you found a lot of gulls and shorebirds, whereas if you head further up where the water gets more fresher, you'll find waterfowls and ducks rather than shorebirds.
All right. Around the corner, do we have anything hiding out around the corner?
No, we got nothing out.
No, nothing out there. So what did we see today? We saw some cormorants before we went live, which naturally happens. We saw some culp gulls.
There was some little egret, but it was hiding away. Yeah, we got the sacred ibis.
Yeah.
So I think the wind makes it a little bit challenging today.
Well, our friend here is being very cooperative, really working it for the
A model.
Showing off.
Now, estuaries are all obviously very important environments where the fresh water meets the ocean. I imagine, too, they're bringing in a lot of trash and plastic from the inland. So do you ever come down here with volunteers to do cleanups?
Yes, we do. We do come here regularly to clean up, especially along the roads, because we have a bridge going over the estuary and people stop here for pumping prawns and just having a swim. So many times they just come here and empty their cars before heading back into the city. And yeah, we are left with all the trash. So yeah, we do come out here and do like beach cleanups or estuary cleanups.
Okay, well, not too shabby. I know it's a windy day and a lot of the migratory birds have left, but we got 3 species, so that's pretty good. And we got this guy really working it, having some stretching right now. So
Tomat just said there's little egrets on the other side.
Is there?
Around the corner.
Okay.
I don't know
Why don't we take a chance then and walk some of the gear around the corner and see if we can catch a little glimpse of them. So the camera's going to get blurry for a minute. But Amy, if you want to grab maybe the computer, and then Sandra, if you want to grab that bit.
Okay.
And then the battery pack. Yes. And then let's go and see how it goes. Okay, so I apologize for the camera quality, but we just have to get around this little bend. And with any luck, I will be able to zoom in and we'll see the little egrets. Oh yeah, okay, let's see. Quite a ways away. But there we go, we should be able to see them now. It's hard to focus this far. There, we got a little egret there sitting against the little breeze. All scan around the area a little bit so you can see anything. Pull out a little bit too so we can get a little view here of the estuary. Now this will fluctuate during the day, right? Depending on the tide? The water level?
Yeah, so with the tides, of course, there is a 24-hour difference. So twice a day, we'll have a high tide and a low tide. And yeah, as mentioned, we will do our estuary monitoring when it is high tide, just to make sure we do have enough water when it comes to the monitoring as well. But that's something that will be affected as well by our moon phases too. So that is why we do always take our depth, and we'll also note down the moon phases. So we have a reason as to why we have certain levels of water within the estuary.
All right. All right, team, let's carefully, let's see if we can back up to the starting point and get the gear settled in. I wish everybody could see this process right now, but because we have the long lens on, I can our progress here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my phone. So bear with me, those who are tuning in. We're going to switch to a new camera view. And we're going to continue from there. And yeah, bear with me for 1 second. All right, very close up view, but we do. Oh no, did we just get another bird as we switched?
What are you seeing there?
I don't remember the name. It's kind of the little egret, but it's the black one. African something.
Okay. Well, I think we did pretty good there. I'm going to switch my camera view so we can see the team one more time.
Yeah, good idea.
All right, what did you think you saw?
I think I just put a quiet advocate. In the black. That's true.
Yeah, so this is our sort of shortened version of what we do have when it comes to our bird species. So we do have it divided by the different groups that we'll have. So you can see our gulls and our terns. And we do have a lot of our cormorants too. So we mentioned that we did see one of the Cape cormorants. So that's what's happening in the right-hand corner. And then, yeah, some of our waders. And yeah, a few more exciting ones as well. Our herons and our national bird, the blue crane, here in South Africa.
All right, very cool. Okay, well, I think that, well, you can see our little makeshift studio here with satellite units and cameras, computers and such. Do we have an oyster catcher? Should we switch one more time and try and get a better look? Okay, let's switch one more time. the camera view, and we'll see if we can get a view of that oyster. Okay.
Or you see the long grass in the back, just on the front side of it, close to the water.
Close to the water. Oh, there we go. We got the gulls. We've got the oyster catchers. Okay, one more bonus species. Awesome. Well, a huge shout out to everybody who joined us today, and thank you so much for bearing with us. This is the first time that we've tried the long lens in the field with multiple microphones and this setup, but I think it was a real fun way to spend a little time on Earth Day, celebrating one of our ecosystems, the estuary environment, and learning a little bit about how we monitor, we protect them, and getting to see a little bit of bird biodiversity today. So a huge shout out to Sandra and Thomas and Amy for joining us today. And I think we'll sign off for today. Thanks everyone for joining us from this TV studio down by the side of the river. Thanks everyone.